make sure you guys check out www.procivic.com for all your 9th gen and Civic needs. And also make sure you guys check out www.blinkingbrakelights.com for blinking brake light tail bulbs, which can help you better be seen and safe out in traffic. Use the code GOT10 at checkout for 10% off.
What's going on, guys? This is your boy Maliga, and today I'm going to be explaining to you guys the story behind Clementine. Now, I know this isn't the usual video for you guys. I have a new setup going on here. This is like my editing corner-ish now, and I took apart some magazines that I had laying around, and I kind of put it in this corner here where I kind of edit my videos and, you know, take care of all that good stuff. I think it's pretty freaking cool. So, you know, drop a like if you enjoyed this kind of stuff, because I really enjoy, you know, speaking in front of this. It makes me feel a little bit more confident. Now, let's get to the story of where did Clementine come from. So, it was around, I think it was around like February, March, April of around 2015, where I was looking to buy a new car. I always told my dad, hey dad, I wanted to build my uncle's Mach 3 Supra, but my dad didn't let me because he said, no, it's got to be a new car, not a used one. You got to think big, not think little, and stop wasting your time on old things that can break and fall apart when you could just be driving around a new car that's really stylish and stuff like that. So I took his advice, but under a condition. I said, Dad, I'll buy a new car, like as you wish, but it has to be manual. My dad didn't really like that idea too much, but I've always wanted a manual transmission car, and well, I was looking around to buy a BRZ. So that's where TJ Hunt comes in. Now, I don't want to mention him too much because I've already mentioned on Instagram and on Twitter about how I feel about him. TJ Hunt basically inspired me to buy a BRZ. I went out looking for one, and I found one that I wanted, and you know, the price was really, it was okay. It wasn't all that great, but it was okay. Premium model, really good, World Rally Blue, loved it. Went out to the dealership with my parents, and obviously they denied me because of my credit and my lack of credit history. So no, my mom can't help me, no, my dad can't help me. Okay, so the deal behind that was because I wanted to do it myself, okay? Like I said, I'm a big boy and I can handle these things, and I wanted to kind of, you know, establish my own credit and establish myself as somebody who, you know, owns his car, etc., etc. So that's, you know, obviously after that denial process, the salesperson, you know, I'm not going to mention his name, but Subaru, you really got to help out your customers, because the way you treated me is absolutely unacceptable. You guys lost a customer, and honestly, it's because you guys didn't want to work with me. So when I say customer service really plays a big role into a lot of the financial decisions that you make, I really mean it. And here's why. Because the day that we were going to see the BRZ that night, the night that we got denied, that morning, my dad and I went to the Honda dealership, and we saw Clementine, you know, just sitting out there in front of the showroom and kind of just chilling there. And my dad said, why don't we take this out for a test drive? And I honestly, at the time, I wasn't a big fan into Hondas. I said, you know, I don't want to own a Honda and blah, blah, blah. But I took it out for a test drive anyways. Even though I stalled it a couple times, I still managed to drive it okay. The sales manager came up to me and said this. He said, if you buy this car right now, I will cut the price down to $23,500, which was solid. The car's sticker price was around $23,700. Okay, so usually when you see the sticker on the car, you have to add $2,000 and $3,000 on top for taxes and tag fees, and you come out with $28,000 or $29,000 with a car. And none of that. He gave me the whole list, the whole shebang. He said no freight charges, none of that BS. We're gonna give you this car for $23,500 out of the lot. I can't turn that down, but regardless, we went to the Subaru dealership that night. We got denied. The next day, I got a call from the salesperson over at Honda, and she said, listen, have you thought about your decision and blah, blah, blah? And I said, yeah, I thought about it. You know, I got denied over at the dealership last night, so, you know, let's go forward with this process and see if it works. So she said, okay, you can apply at hondasomething.com for the application and blah, blah, blah. And I got denied the first time, but then she worked with me and told me some things to kind of work a way around it, and which would work. And I sat and I prayed and I said, God, if this was really the call for me, and if this is something that you really have planned in my life, then I accept it. The answer came back as a yes, thank the Lord, and I got accepted by one bank. One. I cannot, discuss fully into detail about the APR percentage because that stuff is a little bit private, but it was a stupid high percentage, and I was paying about $550 a month for the car. That's crazy, but it was all worth it in the end because I have Clementine still. So that's how Clementine came to be. Now, the reason why I chose Clementine over any other vehicle, you know, I've mentioned this before in my videos prior, but it had a sunroof, it had the whole shebang, banging sound system, beautiful interior. You know, the wheels, I don't know about the wheels. I'm still on the fence about the stock wheels. But yeah, but the color was gorgeous. I loved it. The only thing that bothered me the most was the front end of the car and how high it sat. That thing was like rally car fitment. I couldn't complain. It was a brand new car. I was really enjoying my brand new car. Now, it was only a matter of time before I started modifying this car. My plan was have that car as a daily, save some money over for a project car in the future. I was gonna go ahead forward with a Nissan 300ZX twin turbo swap, but as you guys know, long-time subs, that didn't work. So I took that money and I put it into Clementine. I have an NVIDIA Q300 exhaust. You know, I'll leave all the videos in order of the modifications that I did down below in the description. So I did an NVIDIA Q300 first, I did the Skunk 2 lowering springs next, and then I did the HFP lip kit the third time. I did a roof visor install, I believe, and then obviously, I mean, I got rid of the roof visor pretty freaking quickly because it kept falling off. I also did the Home Depot lip, which is also one of my most popular videos on the channel, which is awesome. So if you're coming over from, you know, if you're a subscriber to the channel because of the Home Depot lip video, thanks for sticking with me and thanks for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. I never expected that video to blow up like the way it did, and I honestly feel blessed. After the Home Depot lip, right, after all that stuff, the car was beautiful, the car was almost done. All I needed was a nice pair of wheels and things like that, and it would be perfect, right? So that year I was supposed to go out to the East Coast Honda meet and all that stuff, and H2O and whatnot, but as you guys know, unfortunately, the night of, I think it was July 15th, somebody rear-ended me.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It was a really nasty rear-end collision. I'm actually opening up myself now in regards to the accident because I never really spoke about it too much. So that night, I was coming home from a Title Max meet, and I was on 495 North near Tyson's Corner. That's like a major highway. It's about a 4-lane highway. I'm literally 5 minutes away from my dad's house because I was supposed to go to Pittsburgh the next day, meet up with a couple of buddies because we were going to go up to see TJ Hunt, right? So, unfortunately, I was coming up to like a work zone. The lanes were narrowing, so I came to the second like lane in the middle to the right, if that makes any sense. But anyways, I was there and I stopped behind a vehicle. I was a fair distance away from the vehicle in front of me because that's usually how I drive. But if you see in the dash cam footage, somebody just smacked right into me. The impact was so bad. The rear of my car lifted up off of the ground over to the left and then back down. That's how bad it was. But I am super impressed with Honda's safety, which is another big reason why I chose the car, because I had a really good safety rating. You know, there was nobody in my car. Actually, I was really scared that night because I really was planning to have somebody else in the vehicle, but she couldn't make it. Thank the Lord. I would hate for her to be in the vehicle, you know, as that accident was going on. Obviously, I would be very upset afterwards because the impact, I've been in a rear-end collision before, okay, so it's not a surprise to me, but I was upset about my car, okay? I was more upset about that because I tried so hard for that car. I spent so much money on that car, you know, blood, sweat, and tears and hard work just to see it be taken away simply because somebody was on their phone while they were driving. I'm not one to you know, be a hypocrite, you know, about this texting and driving stuff, but I'll leave it at this. Put the phone down, it's not worth it, okay? You could really hurt somebody. So I get out of my car, I'm shook up, I'm angry. I was so angry to the point where I was screaming in a foreign language. I am from Brazil, so we speak Portuguese. I was screaming at the gentleman in Portuguese. Okay, the gentleman was really confused. He was just like, what are you trying to say, and this and that. And I'm like, and I saw his airbags went off and how badly his car was smashed up. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, are you okay? And he said, my neck hurts and stuff like that. I said, do you want me to call the ambulance and stuff like that? He was like, no, I'm okay. Do you want my insurance information? I said, no, I'm gonna call the police right now and they'll be on the way. So here's the shocking part, okay? I did not call the police. I did not even call my parents. I actually called the person who was supposed to be in my car that night. I called her and I said, hey, just wanted to let you know that I would tell you if I got home safe. I didn't. I got in an accident. And she was half asleep. She was like, oh my God, like, okay, are you okay? And this and that. Okay, you know who you are, but anyways. Then I called the police. Police came by, called my parents. My parents, they didn't know where I was, but it was really easy for them to come over really quickly because, like I said, I was 5 minutes away from my dad's house. So my parents were there really quickly. And the last thing I remember was my parents arriving to the scene and me just breaking down, okay? I know that sounds like a little bit of a, pussy thing to say, but, I broke down because that was my heart, that was my baby. Like, my Civic is my baby. And I honestly thought it was totaled, okay? So it was a really tough night for me, but I came out to find out the week afterwards when my insurance company came to evaluate the car. They said it was fixable. As a matter of fact, the case is still open. They're actually disputing the bill, which was about $10,000 to repair my car. The other insurance company does not want to pay for it for whatever reason, but whatever the case may be, that's between Allstate and the other insurance company. I have nothing else to do with that. So, the car got fixed just before East Coast Honda Meet, which was sick. So shout out to Frank and the boys over at Northern Virginia Auto Body because you guys kicked some major ass out there for me. I really appreciate all of what you guys done for me in terms of getting that car up and ready for the show. But, so East Coast Honda Meet went pretty well. I went to H2O, which was freaking fantastic. The car, it was awesome. It didn't feel different. It didn't drive different. It still drove the same. And then here we are today. So another question that, I get asked constantly, why did you name her Clementine and how did that name come to be, right? So I've always named my cars. My first car's name was the Red Baron, okay? Simply because I was fiddling with the defroster and everything like that. In order to do that in the 90s car, you have to pull this lever and pull the other lever, turn this knob and then the other knob and then hit the fan on high, right? So my mom was in the car with me and she was like, are you driving an airplane or something? And then obviously I turned to her and I said, yeah. And then, jokingly of course, but then the name Red Baron stuck because the Eclipse was red and, the name the Red Baron, and the Red Baron is actually an aircraft. So the name Clementine actually came to be when my dad actually called it a pumpkin. I looked at him and I said, why are you calling it a pumpkin? I honestly don't see it as a pumpkin. A pumpkin is huge, a Civic is small. So, since it had a little wing on the back and since Clementines actually have a little bump on top of them, I actually thought, hey, Clementine actually works because it's orange and things like that. And besides, it was a little bit unique. So I decided to put the name Clementine on the car. Basically before anybody else could. So, as a matter of fact, that one person on Facebook, I'm gonna leave it right here, saying that Clementine is your car's name. Guess what? Shots fired, buddy, because I came up with that name first, so you can suck it. For real, guys, though, that post killed me. Be more original because I came up with that name first. Pew pew, shots fired. Yeah, that's right. Seriously unoriginal. I came up with it, just so you guys know. If you guys seen that on the Next Gen Civics page, you guys know that I'm the real Clementine. Well, the real Clementine, please stand up. Please stand up. That's right. That's right. Don't forget that. But anyways, guys, so that's how the name Clementine came to be. Simply because it's unique and it's, it just reminded me of a Clementine. As weird as that may sound, but other than that, guys, that's really it. The car's nickname is Fanta, of course, because I put the license plate as Fanta because it's orange and things like that. So name's Clementine, nickname is Fanta, just like my Passat's name is the Silver Bullet, but the nickname is the Slut. But I'll get into that with the About the Build about the Passat. This was my first episode of the series about the build. I plan on doing one for the Passat because the Passat is also a pretty tough, long story, things like that. If you guys want to see that, please drop it down in the comments and like this video. But that's it. So there's a story about Clementine. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully it kind of answers some of the questions you guys may have about the car and how the car came to be. If you guys really enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe if you enjoy my content. This is Brittany Boy, God in the Liga, and I'm out. Peace.